scientists just found a woolly mammoth so well preserved, its DNA looks brand new, after 52,000 years. This discovery could change everything we know about extinction, and even bring the Ice Age back to life. In the frozen wilderness of the Yukon, a discovery stunned the world. Beneath layers of ice and permafrost, paleontologists unearthed something no one thought possible. A woolly mammoth calf so perfectly preserved, it looked as if it had only just fallen. Its skin still clung to the bone, its hair remained thick and bristled with age, and even the delicate curve of its eyelashes was intact, after more than 52,000 years trapped in ice. At first glance, it seemed like nature had delivered a time capsule, a final glimpse into the Ice Age. But what scientists found next was far beyond anything they expected. Inside this frozen relic lay DNA so complete, so untouched by time, it is now considered the most pristine mammoth genetic material ever recovered in North America. This wasn't just a fossil. This was a bridge connecting the distant past to a very real future where extinction itself could be challenged. The implications were staggering. For decades, researchers have dreamed of bringing back creatures long lost to history, but attempts were always limited by fragmented, degraded strands of DNA. This time, however, was different. The genetic code of the mammoth calf was nearly whole, an instruction manual written by nature itself, preserved with extraordinary detail. But one question echoed through the labs and research halls. How could such fragile strands of life survive the impossible? For over 50 millennia, this animal endured freezing, thawing, crushing ice, and yet its DNA remained as if time itself had chosen to spare it. Was it a perfect storm of climate, ice, and luck? Or could there be hidden mechanisms in nature that allow life to endure against all odds? What began as a dig in the Yukon had quickly transformed into something much greater, a scientific revelation, and perhaps the closest humanity has ever come to resurrecting a creature from the age of giants. And as the world watched, one truth became clear. This was not just the story of a mammoth, but of how fragile threads of life can defy the endless march of time itself. So how did this genetic treasure manage to endure for more than 50,000 years? The secret wasn't in a lab, but in the very ground where it rested. Beneath Canada's Yukon permafrost lies nature's most perfect preservation chamber, a vast icy vault where the temperature never rises high enough for decay to begin. For millennia, this natural deep freeze guarded the mammoth calf like a time capsule, sealing it away from bacteria, oxygen, and the destructive hands of time itself. To scientists, it isn't just frozen earth, it's a prehistoric library. Every layer of ice and soil is a page of history, and this mammoth just might be its rarest book. One paleogeneticist even called it the best preserved DNA we've ever recovered from a mammoth outside of Siberia. That's an extraordinary statement, because until now, Siberia's permafrost was considered the gold standard for ancient DNA. Yet here in the Yukon, science uncovered something that rivaled the impossible. When researchers began unlocking those fragile strands of DNA, what they uncovered went far beyond expectations. This wasn't simply about reconstructing an animal's family tree. It was about stepping directly into the Ice Age. Each gene carried clues about how mammoths survived brutal winters, what diseases they faced, and even what separated them from their modern-day relatives, the elephants. In essence, the calf wasn't just preserved, it was whispering secrets across time, telling us not only how mammoths lived, but why they vanished. And yet, as incredible as these findings were, the true revelation was still to come. Because inside that frozen genetic code lay the blueprint for something once thought to be pure science fiction. So what secrets does this ancient DNA really whisper to us across 52,000 years of silence? For one, it reveals how woolly mammoths didn't just endure the brutal Ice Age, they mastered it. Their DNA shows evidence of unique adaptations, thicker coats of insulating hair, specialized fat reserves that acted like natural heaters, and even changes in their very blood. These genetic tweaks allowed their hemoglobin to carry oxygen efficiently, even when temperatures plunged far below freezing. But the story doesn't end with survival alone. Scientists can now peer into the mammoth's lifestyle itself. Through genetic clues, they've pieced together what these giants likely ate, from grasses to wildflowers, and even tracked the vast distances they once migrated across icy tundra. Believe it or not, some markers even hint at something as small, yet extraordinary, as their possible hair color. Imagine that. After tens of thousands of years, we can still picture whether a mammoth's shaggy coat leaned more toward dark browns or lighter hues that blended with snow. And this isn't just cold data on a computer screen. It's a vivid window into a world that no longer exists, a frozen bridge between past and present. For indigenous elders of the Yukon, the mammoth is not just a prehistoric beast. It is part of their living ancestral memory, woven into oral traditions and cultural identity. This discovery is more than science. It's a reunion between modern technology and timeless human stories. Yet as astonishing as this DNA is, one question looms larger than all. How did such powerful animals, perfectly adapted for their icy home, vanish forever? To truly uncover the fate of the woolly mammoth, scientists must look beyond this single calf in Yukon. They must connect its story with other frozen giants found across the world, from the vast Siberian tundra to Alaska's permafrost. Each specimen is a puzzle piece, and only by fitting them together can we reveal the full picture of how an entire species walked into extinction. And that answer just might reshape everything we thought we knew about the end of the Ice Age. Across the icy landscapes of Siberia, Alaska, and Canada, frozen mammoths have stunned the world for decades. From the remarkably preserved yucca in Siberia to the young calf nicknamed Effie in Alaska, each discovery has added another piece to the puzzle of these Ice Age titans. But until now, none of those finds have yielded DNA this ancient or this intact on North American soil. Canada's permafrost has just rewritten the playbook, pushing the boundaries of what we thought possible in genetics. Scientists are calling it a breakthrough that changes everything we know about mammoth research. And with this groundbreaking DNA in hand, one question now looms larger than ever before. Should we use it? Should humanity take this genetic key and unlock the possibility of bringing mammoths back from extinction? It's a question that sparks both excitement and fear, because while the science is there, the consequences may reach far beyond anything we can predict. Here's where it gets wild. Could this ancient DNA actually help bring mammoths back to life? According to some scientists, the answer is yes. Using CRISPR, the powerful gene editing tool, researchers are already experimenting with weaving mammoth genes into the DNA of modern Asian elephants. The idea is simple but mind-blowing. Create an elephant that isn't just an elephant, but one designed to survive the freezing cold, with shaggy fur, thick fat layers, and traits almost identical to its Ice Age cousin. But this raises a huge question. Is this brilliant science or dangerous science fiction? One leading geneticist explained it clearly. We're not cloning a mammoth, at least not yet, but the technology is closer than you think. That statement alone has sent shockwaves through the scientific world. Now picture it, massive herds of woolly mammoths once again thundering across the Siberian tundra. Some scientists argue they could help restore the Arctic environment by knocking down trees, spreading grasslands, and even slowing climate change by keeping permafrost frozen. To them, it's not just about bringing back a lost species, it's about saving the planet. But others warn, just because we can doesn't mean we should. What if introducing a long-extinct species unleashes problems we can't control? What if these mammoths don't behave as expected, or worse, disrupt ecosystems in ways we never saw coming? And here's the chilling thought. If Earth does enter another ice age, like it has in the past, are we truly prepared to share the planet with creatures straight out of prehistory? Picture the year 2035. The Arctic, once thawing, empty and barren, is suddenly alive again, with herds of woolly mammoths thundering across the tundra. Sounds like pure science fiction, right? But some scientists argue this could actually fight climate change. Here's why. In the Ice Age, mammoths weren't just giant creatures. They were ecosystem engineers. By trampling thick layers of snow, they kept the permafrost locked below, preventing it from melting. Their grazing fertilized vast grasslands, which reflected more sunlight and trapped massive amounts of carbon in the soil. Together, this natural system slowed warming in ways we're only beginning to understand today. That's the vision behind Colossal Bioscience's Mammoth project. They believe that by reviving mammoths, or mammoth-like elephants, we could restore these ancient grassland ecosystems and create a living shield against climate change. But here's the catch. Critics warn we might be playing with forces we don't fully understand. Ecosystems are complex, and resurrecting extinct species could bring unpredictable consequences. Could it save the planet or unleash a disaster no one saw coming? This is the ultimate what if, a future where climate change and extinction collide. And humanity has the power to decide not just who lives, but who returns. So the question is, should we actually do it? So what do you think? Would you welcome herds of mammoths back if it meant saving the planet? Or is this just a dangerous game of playing God? Drop your wildest what if in the comments. Would you bring back mammoths or maybe another Ice Age giant? And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more ancient mysteries and discoveries every week, because the Ice Age might not be as far away as you think.